5 days ago, this repository did not exist. Right now, it has 159,000 stars. The engine inside it was written 4 years earlier by one person to run bots in group chats. Almost nobody is talking about that part. The repository is DeepSeek Harness. It went public on the 13th of August. 5 days later, it carries 159,000 stars and 16,000 forks. Whatever you think a star is worth, that is a lot of people looking. The pitch is 4 words, and they are printed in bold on the front page. Everything is a plugin. Model adapters, tools, skills, sessions, sandboxes, storage, scheduling. The interface you type into. Each one mounts, and each one can be pulled back out. That was the demo every write-up ran, and it is a good demo. But the sentence does not stop there. It keeps going, and it says, powered by Cordis. That is where the coverage stopped, and where the interesting part starts. Cordis is not DeepSeek's. Different organization, different maintainers. A separate repository, created in May of 2022. 4 years and 3 months before the harness existed, back when the category it now serves did not have a name yet. And it was not built for coding agents. It was built to run chatbots, Discord servers, QQ groups, Telegram rooms, places where somebody installs a plugin at 2 in the morning, decides they hate it, and rips it back out while 40 people are still talking. Today, Cordis sits at 6,000 stars. The thing standing on top of it has 159,000, 26 times over. One of these 2 repositories is load-bearing, and it is not the one you have heard of. So here's the question this whole video is built around. Why is a Frontier Labs coding agent running on a chatbot's kernel? Here is the repository. MIT licensed, and 1 line of description, which happens to be the least helpful sentence in modern software. Meta framework of spatio-temporal composability. Hold on to that phrase, because underneath the vocabulary, there is something real. Before we unpack it, look at who wrote it. 550 commits. 537 of them come from one handle. The next contributor down has 7. By any reasonable reading, this is one person's framework. It is not a busy project either. 73 commits across the last 52 weeks. 37 of those weeks had no commits at all. A dead quiet repository, sitting directly underneath the loudest launch of the year. You do not have to take anyone's word for the lineage. It is checkable in a single file. Open the core package of a chatbot framework called Koishi, and its dependency list names Cordis outright. It is written into the manifest. Koishi has been going since December of 2019. It sits at 6,000 stars, and it calls itself a cross-platform chatbot framework made with love. Its topic tags read Discord, Telegram, Matrix, Fei Shu, a hobby ecosystem, and the place all of this came from. So the chain runs backwards like this. A Frontier Labs coding agent stands on a plugin kernel, which was extracted out of a chatbot framework, which was written for group chats. Every link in that chain is public, and has been for years. There is one more thread worth pulling. The profile of the handle behind almost all of Cordis now lists DeepSeek as its company. And the GitHub organization the harness was staged from was registered about 11 weeks before any of this went public. Then there is the detail that tells you the whole thing was choreographed. 2 hours before the harness repository appeared, a paper was pushed into that same Cordis organization. Not a blog post, a paper. 88 pages of it. A Programming Paradigm for Spatio-Temporal Composability by Yifan Shi, Wei Zhang, and Tianyi Cui out of Peking University and DeepSeek. And Tianyi Cui is also the single largest contributor to the harness itself. The paper defines the phrase in one sentence each. Temporal composability. The ability to completely revert a component's side effects upon removal. Spatial composability. The ability to declare and reactively manage the dependencies between components. 2 sentences of theory. The entire harness rests on them. Strip the vocabulary and you get 2 promises. Pull a plugin out and everything it ever did comes out with it. And a plugin can name what it needs, then stay asleep until that thing shows up. Which lets their architecture document say something most frameworks cannot. There is no privileged core to patch. You extend the harness by mounting a plugin beside the others, and every registration unwinds when that plugin unloads.
And here is where the chatbot and the coding agent turn out to be the same shape. Not similar, the same. 3 hard problems in the same order, and a group chat hit all 3 about a decade earlier. 1. The session outlives the capability. A group chat runs for months. A coding session runs for hours. In both cases, the thing on top has to survive the pieces underneath being swapped out from under it. 2. Capabilities arrive and leave in the middle. Koishi has a marketplace where you add a plugin, disable it, and remove it with the bot still running. That is not a feature somebody built for a launch. It is how people have used it for years. 3. State has to survive the swap. Leave a listener behind, or a half-registered service, or a timer nobody owns, and you do not get a crash. You get a bot that behaves strangely 2 days later. Those are the worst bugs there are. Solve those 3 and you get what is sitting in that repository right now. 219 packages. File system, shell, editor protocol, sandboxes, search, storage, scheduling, subagents. And the agent loop itself is just one more of them. The sharpest proof of how cheap that made things is what they shipped without ever having to plan it. One package reads your Claude Code hook config. One reads your Codex config. 3 more mount those tools as subagents. Bridges to their 2 closest competitors, on day 1 as plugins. The ecosystem worked it out faster than the commentary did. 7,500 repositories already carry the plugin topic, and Cordis took more issues and pull requests in 5 days than it had taken in the previous 4 years. Now, DeepSeek did not simply install this from NPM. They copied the source in, renamed it into their own namespace, pinned it to an exact commit, and kept a log of every single change they made to it. That log runs to 18 numbered entries. Entry 6 closes 3 reentrant disposal gaps. That is the bug you hit when a plugin is being torn down while it is still starting itself up. You only meet that one after years of unloading things under load. Entry 15 is stranger and better. It ports a pull request that is still open upstream. They read somebody's unmerged patch, decided it was correct, and shipped it inside DeepSeek's own agent before the project that wrote it had merged it. So here is where I land. The plugin kernel was not the hard part of agent engineering. And DeepSeek proved it by refusing to write one. The loop, the tools, the context work. Those are theirs, and those are the actual product. The runtime was plumbing,
already solved by somebody who spent 4 years finding its sharp edges inside a Discord bot. Writing a fresh one would have been slower, worse, and a matter of pride rather than engineering. And it is worth saying the quiet part out loud. One person maintained that kernel for 4 years, mostly alone, at about 1.5 commits a week, for a chatbot ecosystem almost nobody outside it had heard of. Then a frontier lab picked it up and shipped it to 159,000 people. That is the open source bargain working exactly the way it is supposed to. The fair objection, and it is a good one, is that every user now pays the complexity of everything being a plugin, so that a few people can hot swap the loop. That lands. It is the strongest thing anyone has said against this design. The counter is that the complexity was going to exist either way. It usually just lives inside somebody's private core where you cannot see it, cannot patch it, and cannot pull it out. It is also a developer preview, whose own README warns in capital letters that compatibility-breaking changes are coming, with the issue tracker switched off. So the tidy 0 on that repository card is a setting, not a score. Knowing all of that, I would still take the trade. Which leaves the question I cannot answer for you. If the kernel is borrowed, the plugin list is open, and the bridges to your competitors ship in the box, then which part of a harness is actually the moat? Whatever your answer is, it is not the plugin system. And that has been true for 4 years, while everybody looked straight past it.